Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for being patient about the waiting room and getting into the room and as people come in. But make sure that you're muted if you're not already, just to make sure we're creating the best experience possible, but I'll talk about that in just a minute. But welcome. My name is Nassim Nozertosh, and I am one of the Assistant Directors of New Student and Family Services. And I have the honor and pleasure of welcoming you to New Family Reception here at UNC Charlotte. So welcome, excited to have you. Please feel free to grab a drink of your choice. You can create one of those 49er inspired cocktails, mocktails, get a soda, get water, get some food. Please feel free to do what you want to do. This is a casual event for you to be welcomed here. So please come and enjoy. So before we get into kind of the fun part of New Family Reception, I just want to talk a little bit about logistics to just make sure that you are having the best experience possible. So at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, there is a microphone. Make sure that is muted for right now. I need your help to make sure that we are able to hear all the speakers, and I promise you later on in the event, you will have time to talk to other family members and unmute yourself. So just for now, make sure that you're muted. We also have some staff who are going to help make sure that we're all able to hear each other. So please make sure you do that. In order to have a great experience, if you want to kind of immerse yourself, if you hit the speaker view that's at the top right corner, it's a square with 3 dots, go ahead and click that. You'll put whoever is talking right into the front of the screen. Also, if you're not muted, you'll be popping up right in front of everyone's screen, so please do not be camera shy. So just make sure you're muted, as I was saying. But just to let you know, we have so many guests who want to be participating in this event, and with the Zoom limitations, we actually had to open up 2 Zoom rooms. So we have 2 new family receptions going on. So we have some great people who are here to speak with us. But I promise you, you will get to engage with your families, you will get to engage with one another, and you'll get to engage with us. So a little bit about schedule, just so you know, we have some speakers, we have some amazing university staff and leadership who are here to talk to you. And then after, we're going to break out into small rooms where you get to talk with other family members, because I bet you want to hear a little bit about experience. And then you're going to come back into this room. This is what we call the main room. And you're going to hear from our students, and then we'll talk just a little bit more. But I promise you, I will guide you through this entire experience. So do not worry. I am here. I am your cruise director. So I will help you through this experience. Why are we having New Family Reception? What is New Family Reception? We're doing it virtually, so we're trying to make our best out of this to make sure that you're having fun, but it's a time for all our families to understand the resources that are specific to them, connect with other family members, and make sure that you have a smooth transition. New Student and Family Services is dedicated to the transition of not just students, but also families. Your students may have gone through SOAR, they may be going to do Gold Rush events, which is our welcome events that happen in the beginning of each semester. So you'll see that their transitions are happening, but guess what, families? You all have a transition too. Whether it's mental, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, there's a transition that happens. And we here have specific resources that at New Student and Family Services are specific to you. And what we hope for you to get during this event is to understand what those are. If you have any questions, if you have any random thoughts, email us. We're here for you. We will help you and engage you and make sure that you are given the right resource. And also what's really important for you to understand is that the transition is real, and the transition might be hard or might be easy. Each journey is different, but here at NSFS and at UNC Charlotte, we are here to make sure that you are connected and engaged. But I'm going to highlight one resource right now that I think all of you should be a part of, and that is what we call Niner Nation Family Association, otherwise known as NNFA. It's a mouthful. Try to say it 3 times fast. It's kind of difficult. But NNFA is a kind of, I like to call it the PTA of university. Instead of high school when you went and there's a PTA, it's an organization that is specifically for family members, that if you want more resources, if you want webinars, if you want to connect with families, if you want to connect with students who work with families, we will do that in that organization. There is a fee. It is $49 for 1 year and $149 for 4 years. I don't know if you see that 49 theme happening, but That also allows you to engage with a smaller group of families and allows us to give you specific resources. So if you want more information on that organization, if you want to join, which I think you should do, because we're kind of revamping it a little bit this year, I will show you the website at the end of today's event webinar that's happening right now. So you can see exactly where to sign up for that. So don't worry, I will come back to that. I just wanted to give that little plug. But I think we should go ahead and start with our amazing speaker series that we have right now. So right now we're just gonna, friendly reminder, we're staying mute, we're doing great, but I wanna go ahead and introduce our Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, Dr. Kevin Bailey.
Thank you, Nasim. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for participating. I am scrolling through the screens here to see people's backgrounds, what you're eating, what you're drinking, and what your background's looking like. So Caitlin Wilhite, yeah, thanks. Shout out to you all for whatever y'all are eating on the screen there. Was it Amy? I can't read that. Amy, you just put the gentleman, just put the drink up, the red drink up. So cheers to all of you. Again, thanks you all for coming and participating in this. And I'm just sitting here reflecting as the video was being played that this is the first time in 15 years I didn't spend most of my summer engaging with new students and parents through some orientation program at the various institutions that I've worked at. And I felt something was missing from part of my summer. The opportunity to engage, the opportunity to meet, the opportunity to dialogue, and certainly am thankful to Nasim and the staff for putting this opportunity together. So what I want to do in the short time I've got with you is just to tell you a little bit more about who I am, what I do, and then talk about a couple of points I want to make for you all, which you would have heard if we were face to face together over the summer. So again, I'm the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs here at UNC Charlotte. Some places call it Vice President for Student Affairs, Vice President for Student Life, for Campus Life. Regardless of what an institution calls it, the function is pretty much the same. We are the division that helps your student succeed through the institution and is responsible for most of the non-athletic, non-academic experience for your students. So things like living on campus, the rec center, this program, SOAR, parent programs, the counseling center, the health center, student organizations, student discipline, all the things that students engage in. I would tell you that we also wind up being the chief student problem solvers. And this doesn't suggest that other people on campus can't or won't help your students solve problems, but because of the far-reaching nature of what we do, we've got a bit of expertise and we know other people on campus. And so we always like to say, you know, if you or your student has a problem or an issue, or you've heard something that you think, you know, that doesn't sound right, certainly come to me, come to my colleagues, and we will check it out for you. I always promise you, and I always promise your students honesty. If you ask a question, and I know I'm going to give you an answer that you're likely not going to like, it's still my obligation to give you that answer. So I will always tell you the truth, even though it's a truth that you may not like. I've been at UNC Charlotte for 4 years in this role, and I am a returning 49er, having started my higher education career here 30 years ago when Charlotte and UNC Charlotte looked completely different. And so I'm happy to be back after a 21-year absence and to be in this role. Let me talk about a couple points I want to leave you all with as class begins on Monday. I'm sitting here in my office despite the background and have been, you know, on campus the last couple of days. We've got about 650 new students moving in this week. Some of your students may be part of this initial move-in. Campus looks gorgeous, but again, it feels different. You know, it feels empty. There are sightings of students, I would call it, you know, here and there, but the hustle and bustle that would be expected on September 3rd, isn't here. And we certainly understand why. But again, it's a felt absence for me. Again, in the 30 years I've been doing this particular work. The other thing I would say is that, and you'll hear more about this later from Naseem and others, that we want to create a partnership with you that is no less important than the relationship and partnership that we forge with your students. Naseem told you one way in terms of the 49er Family Association, how you can get involved, but we will also deliver to you just-in-time information about the things that are going on campus. We will give you a heads up when a bill is due or bills are due or when exams are coming, so that you can have those conversations with your students. So again, that you are equipped from our perspective to have those conversations with your students so that you are a partner in this with us as well. Certainly your students over the last couple of weeks have been receiving lots of information from us. Information that talks about their expectations in a COVID environment, that they've got to wear a mask, that they got to remain socially distant, that they need to abide by all of the governor's orders in North Carolina for gatherings, and what the consequences are, for that, for not doing so. And it may seem like a bit of overkill. It may seem like a bit of common sense, but certainly the reinforcement doesn't hurt. And you all have read in the news, just like I have, what's happened at other schools in the North Carolina system or other schools, across the country. And so we are certainly doing our best to have a chance for us to resume, or begin, I should say, face-to-face classes come October 1. And so I understand that the messages may seem a little heavy-handed, but they're certainly meant with the spirit of people wanting to be face-to-face and giving us the best chance for us to be face-to-face come October 1st. You've also received some communication that may make it seem like we're going through whiplash. On Monday, we're turning left. On Tuesday afternoon, we're turning right. On Thursday morning, we're going up. And Friday, we're going down. And certainly, I experienced that as a staff member and perhaps one of the people who's causing the whiplash, but also understand it from the receiving end, what it may feel like and look like. I just simply ask for your patience and for your grace. None of us have done this before. And certainly we are reacting to a variety of factors, some of which are out of our control, from the UNC system to the county health department to what's going on, across the country. So again, as we get through this together, I would just ask for, a little bit of patience and grace. I'm still excited about Monday and classes and the start of the semester. I've been talking to some of my colleagues in the other schools in the system who by now have been in session for about a month, and some of their highs and some of their lows, but to a person, they are glad to have instruction going on. They're happy to see students, whatever form they take, back on their campuses, in their libraries, in their dining halls, enjoying the green space and being outside. And so that's what the college environment is like. Yes, it will look a little different for your students. Lots of virtual events, some hybrid events in terms of a mix of virtual and face-to-face. Again, smaller gatherings, but we still have pride in Niner Nation. We want your students to have that pride in Niner Nation. We will provide opportunities for them to connect with other students, as been evidenced with Virtual SOAR that happened earlier in the summer, and are still committed to the same quality Niner Nation experience, although it will just look a little different as we approach the start of class for Monday. My door is always open. I'll make sure that I'll put my email in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me with a question. Again, I may not know all the answers, but I know the people who do know the answers, and we'll make sure that I get it to you one way, shape, or form. So again, thank you all for being on the call. Thank you all for trusting your students to us here at UNC Charlotte. For anyone who's an alum, again, thank you all for being here, and I'll turn it back over to Naseem.
So welcome. I am very excited to welcome you all to our Niner Nation family, and happy that I get to connect with you in this virtual environment. It has certainly been a roller coaster over the past 6 months here. I don't know what it's been like in your family life or your work, but it has been unlike anything that any of us have experienced. So again, I am Christine Reed Davis. I'm the Associate Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs and the Dean of Students here at UNC Charlotte. And I've been with the university in various roles since 1997, with a short stint at Boston College for part of the 2012-2013 academic year. But I returned to UNC Charlotte in June of 2013 to serve as the Dean of Students. So this marks my 7th academic year in my role as the Dean of Students, and my 23rd academic year at UNC Charlotte. So in addition to being the Dean, I'm also a doctoral student, and I'm ending my last semester of my studies this fall, anxiously waiting for my own commencement ceremony to happen, hopefully in person. And I've dedicated a lot of time and energy to this university in my adult years, which has brought me a great sense of pride and accomplishment. But one of the greatest accomplishments is that my own son has chosen UNC Charlotte to pursue his degree. So he is an incoming student. So this year, I join you all as new parents and new family members in Niner Nation family, which is a new role for me as well. So the intersections of my identities as Dean of Students, as a student, and a parent during the time of COVID has made for some very interesting conversations and decision points in my household this summer. But despite the challenges that COVID has presented to us, it continues to be my privilege and my honor to serve as the Dean of Students at this amazing institution, and to provide leadership to several offices and services that will impact your students' experience while they're at UNC Charlotte. Our partnership with family members is critical to the success of our students. You know your students best. You may have been advocating for them for years now, and now we're ready to help be a part of that transition for them to find their own voices as they develop their own unique identities. Your guidance and feedback about issues impacting your students has always been important to us, as Jordan mentioned, but it's even more important as we all navigate the university experience in the COVID environment. As a university, we've been working diligently for the past several months to determine the best ways to provide students with the high quality education that they expect and you expect as family members, as well as opportunities to continue their social and developmental interactions that will help to expand their minds and shape their character, hopefully for years to come. Now, we've had to pivot once or twice on our plans, but we have always kept our goal in mind to provide excellent academic experiences and robust support services for our students and communication to our family members. We will continue to do this, whether virtual or in person, across the university. And we are watching and learning from the experiences that our sister institutions at Chapel Hill, NC State, and ECU have experienced over the past couple of months. And we hope to make some different decisions than they were able to make in the time frame that they started their coursework and their residence hall move-in. And believe me, as a new parent who is also paying tuition for my son and for myself, I'm paying even closer attention to the ways that we do this for all of our students. So please know that as a university, we strive to keep the best educational interest and safety of your students at the top of our collective mind. But it's been a challenging time, unlike any we have seen in our lifetimes. We don't always get it perfect, and it's not always pretty, but we are doing our best, and we ask for some grace and patience as we navigate these new waters along with US family members and our students. I encourage you to fully participate in tonight's breakout rooms, to connect with other families, to lean on them for support and community, because really those are two important elements that will be helpful in your journey as a new Niner Nation family member. And these connections may last beyond your students' years at UNC Charlotte. So I want to thank you for joining us this evening. I'm excited to spend the next several years with your family on this Niner Nation journey, and maybe we'll see each other at a commencement in a couple of years. But I do hope that I get to see each and every one of you in person very soon. Go Niners.
Good evening, everyone. I'm really excited to be here this evening to talk with you all. As Dr. Bailey said, it has been a weird summer. Usually we spend May, June, July, and August engaging with new students and family members in person and getting to have those one-on-one conversations and getting to know you all through our summer orientation program. And so it's really nice to see faces tonight and get to spend some time with each of you. And in a few minutes, get to learn more about you as we do some breakout rooms. But I wanted to spend a little bit of time tonight talking to you about the work that our office does, as well as some opportunities for extended engagement for family members. So the Office of New Student and Family Services, the mission of our team is to facilitate intentional programs and services that inspire successful transitions. And Nasim talked about what those transitions look like for both you and your students, but I want to talk a little bit more about the flexibility that we have in adapting to changing environments. So as Bailey mentioned, it feels like we have some whiplash. But New Student and Family Services has been committed to finding creative and engaging ways for you to be involved, not just this summer and this fall, but over the past several years as well. And so with that, we are creating this responsive programming opportunities for you to get to know us and each other. We will continue to have virtual and in-person events as we are able to this year. And Nasim will talk to you more about that. But our office, the work we do is grounded in 4 values, and those are courage, equity, growth, and connection. So we are committed to providing each of you and your students with opportunities to demonstrate your courage. And that might be trying new things, speaking out against injustice, getting involved in something that you've never been involved with before. Equity in the sense of really showcasing the diversity of our students and our families on campus and within our 49er community. Even just scrolling through the images that I see of each of you and your families tonight sitting here with us, I think it's really reflective of our students coming from very different backgrounds, different experiences, different family dynamics. And so we really value the diversity and the opportunity to create equity centers on our campus. Growth is something that we pride ourselves in, both from a programmatic perspective in making sure that we are growing to meet the needs of a rapidly changing society, but also growth in a personal perspective in how we're coming to understand ourselves and how we're helping you and your families understand your connection to UNC Charlotte. And then connection is that final value. How are we engaged with each other as humans, as people, as members of the 49er community? I also have a 2-year-old at home who it sounds like is having a little bit of a tantrum. So my family is also joining this experience tonight. I apologize in advance if you're hearing some screams. With that, I want to talk about an opportunity for expanded family engagement. So Nasim mentioned the Niner Nation Family Association. We also have our Family Council experience, which is a leadership program for family members. We currently have 13 families. Our vision is to grow this opportunity to be 49 families because 49 is our magic number on campus. Our Family Council meets 2 times a year. So once in the fall semester and once in the spring to serve a variety of purposes. First, the Family Council represents the family experience to university leadership. And so Dr. Bailey, who was just with us, our Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, spends time with our council at each of the meetings. We've had time with the Chancellor each year, with our Provost, who is our Chief Academic Officer on campus, with the leaders over our University Crisis Communications Office, as well as many other folks on campus, to provide feedback about how families are experiencing UNC Charlotte and what we can do to strengthen those relationships. Council members also provide feedback on institutional initiatives, and so they're able to voice opinions. Earlier this summer, as we were looking as a university to move things online and to understand what this new virtual environment would look like, Bailey, our vice chancellor, as well as our provost and our chancellor all met with the family council to get feedback on a variety of options that were available. And that's a really unique family experience. And then finally, our family council also meets with university leadership at all of our meetings. And so we showcase the different resources and services that we provide so that you can understand what it means to be a part of the 49er community. At our family council meeting last fall, our family council members had an opportunity to tour the University Recreation Building, our new UREC center, which had not opened yet and students were not allowed in yet. So our family council members got to brag to their students like, haha, I was in this building before you were, which several students were really jealous about. What I'm most proud of with the family council is the work that we've been able to do to help meet student demands on campus in a way that there isn't funding for otherwise. And so over the past 5 years, the family council has raised and allocated over $80,000 to support student life programming. And so some examples of that are providing funding to the professional clothing closet on campus to provide professional wardrobes for students who have financial insecurity. They've provided funding for the Outspoken Speaker Series, which is an annual event on campus, as well as a venture outdoor backpacking trip for students who may not be able to afford that opportunity, as well as TEDx Charlotte and many, many other initiatives on campus. Recently, we established a quasi-endowment to provide 2 $1,000 annual scholarships to students. And so this academic year, we will award our 5th and 6th scholarship to students. And so knowing that each of these scholarships and the money through the Family Council is going to support student life initiatives is a really important part of what we do, but I also think it really showcases the generosity and the support that our family members want to provide to our student community. We have a family council representative here to speak with each of you tonight to share more about their experience. And so I'm going to turn it over to David and Jackie Blackman, who have been members of the council through the duration of their students' experience here, to talk to you more about what that's like. So David and Jackie, if you want to join.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jackie and this is David, and we have actually 2 sons. One son has already graduated. He graduated in May. That was a unique time. but yes, and he's actually on his, he's in Memphis right now and grad school. And then our other son is a junior, and he is a double major in biology and political science. So, and David actually was worked on campus. I don't remember.
93 to 96.
93
yeah.
to 96
Mm-hmm.
in residence life. And I actually got my master's there. I'm a teacher, so I got my master's. So there's just that kind of link to UNC Charlotte, something special about it that's always been there. But we didn't force it on the boys. They actually chose it on their own. So I think that one of the reasons why our family was drawn to Charlotte was just that feel that you can have that big university feel, but you can also have that, you can find your small little niche and you're not going to get lost. There's definitely safety nets in place and different people. All you have to do is ask. Somebody will help you, and you can just reach out. There's so many different people there, and they are truly there for the students. They love the students. That's their job. That's their passion, and that's why they're there. And I think that that's probably one of the biggest reasons why our family chose Charlotte.
Sure.
So do you want to talk
Sure.
about being part of the family council?
Sure, and I think Emily did a great job just describing family council to everybody, and I just say congratulations to you all as family members for being a part of the Niner Nation now. And our joy as a part of family council, I did not check this with Emily before I say this, and I truly want this to come across as thinking what it was like being high school parents. But if you're a band parent or if you're an athletic booster supporter from your high school days, I find that this is almost like the booster club for student affairs at UNC Charlotte. And we have been excited about just supporting all the initiatives that the Student Affairs Division's been up to. And that's been a real growth opportunity for us. And not only have we become, I think, better parents for the boys going through school there, but also becoming ambassadors. We've been really inspired by our work with Family Council to be ambassadors in this part of the state. We're from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and we just we like bragging on Niner Nation and just all the great things that are happening in Charlotte and the opportunities. And you all have made those decisions. Your students have certainly said yes to coming to Charlotte, and I think that you're in for a great experience because the opportunities in the city. I oftentimes use the phrase that the university is a diamond in the crown city, and it truly is a blessing for our family. Not only were we employed there, we've studied there, but now our boys have a legacy. This is where they became young men, and it's just it's been exciting to watch that happen. I also think that there's a behind the scenes kind of thing that comes with Family Council. You get to see and meet with people one-on-one in those small groups that they provide for us in those annual meetings, and have a chance to talk to leadership on campus. And I do really feel like they value our input as parents and just family members. And Emily, relating to the conversation over this earlier this summer, I'm not sure there are many parents and family members out there that can say they had a face-to-face with the chancellor. And I think that, and the provost, and just being able to really dig into some tough topics that they were trying to work through in preparations for COVID. And here we are today to be able to say what a blessing that was as Family Council members. Yeah, sorry. I think another piece too to offer as parents to all of you, as parents speaking to parents, we just encourage you to listen to your students as they start talking about their experiences. All that they're doing is certainly new. As Bailey referred to, it's new for the staff there, but it's also new for the students. But I just trust that this institution, as they have throughout the years, they just find ways to making it real impactful for the students as they engage in this new season of life. And the other piece I want to share, and then I'll stop. Y'all, you got to know that I'm a pastor, so I get paid to talk for a living. But the other piece I want to make sure I share with you all that I don't want to leave unsaid tonight is that Charlotte is an institution that is resilient. And Jackie and I, as parents of boys that have been attending this institution in the midst of devastating and disruptive events, we just could not say enough about how the staff and the faculty have been so responsible to the students and doing all that they could to help them navigate that season, or those seasons, I should say. It is a reality that we've had a shooting at Niner Nation, but the way that the staff responded and the student body, I think it drew everybody closer. And truly, as we enter this season of COVID now, that resilience will pay off. And I know for my two sons, our two sons, that is something that they have learned as students at Charlotte. They are more resilient than ever, and they have a hope for their futures because of the good things happening at Charlotte. I'm going to stop and let Jackie wrap up anything else to say. And I just appreciate the time Emily gave us to share that tonight.
I just think that, yes, this is new, right? We're all in this with COVID and the remote learning, and it's crazy, but eventually we will get back, and everything will get back to where you guys are in person, face to face. And when that happens, just embrace it and love it and make the best of this. And make sure that you make some good friends and reach out to those faculty members, reach out to the staff, reach out to the people that are there. Because again, they're there because they want to be there. They love you. They want to take care of you. So we just hope that y'all have a great year. And if there's anybody that has any questions, you can always reach out to us. And we just thank you all for letting us talk. And please, if if you're interested, we definitely would love to have you on Family Council.
At a meeting with many of the department heads, we were able to ask questions, raise concerns. They value your opinion. They hear, what you have to say. They were able to give us feedback, and we ultimately felt, I think, safer and more comfortable knowing that we could send him there, and we got the information there from the council.
Yep. And then, back to our questions, we had 1 million questions. And then, then we pulled out of town last year, just about this time, dropping our son off, and we felt so comfortable from, 2 weeks prior, not knowing where he was headed in life. And then we met the council, we pulled out of there and we said, well, if we have any questions, which we did, and we called, and the response has been terrific. And then as a family council member, you also have a voice, which was so great that, how many people, 25,000 students there, and yet you get to have a call. And we actually had a call with the chancellor and 15, 20 people on the call, which is, you know, we thought was pretty cool. So we
made changes based on our recommendations. So
we made a lot of changes. We changed a whole bunch of things at the school. No, only kidding. We made no changes. We were just basically very annoying with all of our questions, and Jordan was so patient, and Emily was too, as well as. So it's been a super cool experience, and we would advise it for everyone to hop on board. You learn a lot. You learn a lot fast, and you feel like you feel like you're getting information before everybody else. You definitely won't be one of those parents that say, I didn't know. You know everything. There's a ton of emails, great communication, fantastic people who work within the council.
And wonderful other parents that are there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The only bummer is that this meeting doesn't have any beverages involved, which every meeting usually does. But, well, my man right there has got a beverage in the so that's good. So Debbie and Todd, is that really you're really not on the beach somewhere, are you? No, you're in North Carolina, aren't you? Okay. I think we answered the questions. Let me just say.
No, but my best advice to anyone who would want to get involved would be to just do it. The rewards and the benefits far outweigh the minimal time commitment that it is. We have met such tremendously wonderful other parents that are in similar situations or not. We've learned a lot from their experiences and their guidance. And, you know, it's wonderful that we know as much information, if not more, than our son. So it's allowed us, I think, to feel very connected to the school and to the community, given the fact that we are far away. So it's really, and of course, as a parent, I can come back more quickly. I can come out more often to see my son because it gives me a reason to come to the meetings. But yeah, it's really been a blessing. It's really been wonderful.
Yeah, it benefited us tremendously not knowing anything about, you know, the state and not being close at all. It gave it a good comfort level. So we look forward to the next. You know, we're only in our second year, so we'll continue as long as you'll have us.
We're gonna start with my presentation. So thank you, Bethany, for giving me the chance to talk to our family members today. So today I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the FAM team and what we do and how exactly we cater to our family members. So first, you'll meet the team. So there's Anna, who I mentioned earlier. Anna is one of our family program interns. I'm also one of the family program interns. We also have Bethany, who just joined us. She's our graduate assistant, and we are very excited to get to work with her on our upcoming publications. But yeah, so as the FAM team or FAM turns, we have many different roles through the New Student and Family Services Office, one of which is something we got to develop this past summer, which is our kind of series called FAM Fridays. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. Many of you tuning in might have actually watched our episodes, but with this series, we basically work to answer family members' most frequently asked questions when transitioning to UNC Charlotte. And we started this back early in June, but we're actually excited to announce that the series will actually be coming back. It will be returning in the fall, and it will, like previously, be posted to our YouTube channel as well as Instagram account. Members of NFFA will have access to a bonus episode each month. So that's just one of the many other perks that you get when you become a member of Niner Nation Family Association. So I definitely recommend that for signing up. But yeah, that's FAM Fridays. Anna and I have had a great time working on this series, and we are excited to bring out more episodes to you. So definitely be on the lookout for those coming in the fall. Next, we have how we engage families. So the FAM team engages families in many different ways, but one of our main kind of ways we do engage families is through our publications. We cater to families by providing information in our student-led newsletters and magazines. And in these magazines, they often contain helpful and useful content for families. And basically, one of the main ways we do this is because this allows our family members to stay connected to UNC Charlotte. And I think that's very important, especially when you are transitioning to a college environment. We do want your student to be comfortable with the campus environment, but so do we want you as well. So that's very important. We have many different newsletters. Family News is one of the newsletters that we release to all family members. But if you are a member of NNFA, you will actually get something called a Relatively Speaking newsletter. And this is just exclusively for those members. So that's just another reason to sign up for that. And then we also have our biannual magazine that we release each spring and fall semester, as well as our yearly calendar. But yeah, those are just some of the publications and the ways that we engage families. So another big way we engage families is through our events. Now, Family Weekend is one of the biggest events that we have the privilege of putting on each year. We typically bring in hundreds of family members, and there's always something for every single family member to enjoy. But this year, we are doing things a little bit differently. We are planning a virtual family weekend, but the goal is to maintain kind of that same integrity, enjoyability that the event has had in the past, but obviously we want to remain safe and healthy. So by doing it virtually, that's how we can maintain that. But yes, Family Weekend is still gonna take place from October 16th through the 18th. So that's one important thing to note. Just know that we are in the middle of the planning stages of Family Weekend. So we're kind of trying to figure out what that will look like. And Nassim will kind of touch on more of that after my part is over. But yeah, that's Family Weekend. Be excited for that. And then what's the best way to connect with us, of course? Well, if you email us at parents@uncc.edu, this is where either Anna, my fellow coworker, or I will typically respond. This is probably the best way to connect with us. We are open to be asking you can ask literally anything you want. And like I said, this is probably one of the best ways to communicate with us. Also follow us on Instagram at UNCCNSFS. Here we post a lot of helpful content. This is also where we post Fam Fridays. But this is typically a place where you can find all the content that we posted this past summer from our orientation counselors, as well as different flyers for different events like the event that you are out on right now. So if you want updates from our office as a whole, I would definitely recommend following that Instagram account. But yeah, that's it for me. I'm going to leave it back to Nassim. But yeah, it was great talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Bethany. So as you can see, it takes a lot of us who are kind of just planning, figuring out what's going on next to make sure that the family transition is important. You got the student view from Daniel. Anna's also another one of our fam turns, that's what they're called, family program interns, who will connect you and make sure that you have the resources necessary. Bethany is heading a lot of our projects and is making sure that you stay engaged and connected. Emily and I are just two of the people on our NSFS staff. We have 3 others who are here also in the other session who help make sure that the transition for both students and families is as successful as possible. But what I want to do real quickly, because I feel like I'm a visual learner, I'm going to show you exactly where to find all the information that you need. Hi, Sawyer. I love him. Anyways, continuing, I'm gonna share you the screen and show you exactly where you need to go. All right, so if you go to nsfs.uncc.edu, that is our website. You'll see there's a student section and you'll see there's a family section right over here. So if you go to families and then you click family programs, move this to the top, you'll see this page. You'll see a home page, a get involved, events, publications, resources, and make a gift. Right now, if you go to the Get Involved, you will see the Family Council, 49er Family Fund, and the Niner Nation Family Association, otherwise known as NNFA. If you click the Family Council and want to get more information on how to get involved, or if you have an interest in it, go ahead and click that and then scroll to about the middle, and you want to click this button here, and you'll fill out some information, and then we will connect you to make sure that you get the correct information you need. If you're interested in the NNFA, you go ahead and go to Get Involved, click that, and make sure that you read through this to see what the membership is, how it works, and click here to join. it's really exciting if you join it because we have some really fun events that are planned for you, some webinars, and you get early access to Family Weekend. And then if you click through here, you'll see the different resources available to you. This events tab is where the new family reception was, and this is our past family weekend and our past spring family night out. So we have a family weekend version in the spring. It's shorter, and we're still planning on doing it, and depending on what the instruction is from North Carolina and the university, we'll see how that is. But for family weekend, if you click it, you'll see last year's information, and we will update it, and we'll make sure you get an email about it. But make sure you utilize this website as a resource because it has so much helpful information. And if you do not know where else to go, email us at the parents' email, parents@uncc.edu, and we will make sure to connect you to the correct resource. Even if it's not our office, we will make sure that we will get you to the right place. It's important for us to understand that your transition is important, and we want to make sure that we are part of that journey with you. So hopefully you're able to do that. Another thing I just want to quickly mention and touch on, Daniel talked a little bit about Family Weekend. So Family Weekend is still planned for the 16th through the 18th, but mostly our events probably will happen on that Saturday, the 17th, because we want to make sure that it is accessible to as many people as possible. It will be virtual this year. However, we are going to keep some of the traditions alive, and we're figuring that out. So please just give us a little bit of grace as to the timing of it. We are working on it, and we're working diligently. We have the student voices, we have the family voices, and we have the staff voices. So this is a program that has a lot of love and care in it. And if you're interested in getting the early access, sign up for NNFA. Very exciting. And we gave you a lot of information. There's so much going on. So I will send you tomorrow a post email that will have all the information you need, how to get to the website, and a little bit about feedback for what we want about this event. So make sure you check that email. I will send a post email tomorrow with all the information that you have received. And lastly, I'm going to add it in the chat. Dr. Bailey asked me to share his email. I am putting it right there. 1 second, let me pull it up because we believe in transparency and Dr. Bailey wants to make sure that he hears your voice as well. So if you want that, that is not what I meant. That is the question I posted. I apologize. Internet is difficult. 1 second. There you go. That is his email. I wanted to make sure I put that in there. But otherwise, use the parents@UNCC email. That is your one-stop shop to make sure that we help you with your transition and any resources that you have. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this. If you also know some family members that weren't able to get in, I apologize again about the delay in getting into the room. This is recorded and we will post it on our YouTube page. Our YouTube page is UNC Charlotte New Student and Family Services. You have to type in the whole name. Sorry about that. But that will be there and we'll make sure that we post that as well in the email. And in the email, there'll be other resources, especially if you have questions about COVID-19 or anything of that sort. We'll put some resources in there as well because we know that is on your mind and we understand that completely. So I hope you were able to get a lot of resources in this. I hope you were able to connect with family members and I appreciate you taking the time on your Thursday night coming out here and I hope you have a great transition to UNC Charlotte. Thank you so much for coming. Go Niners.